Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video, and today is kind of an exciting video, I think. I have plans to read all of Stephen King's books, and it's something I've been wanting to do for the longest time ever. Actually, since I decided to start in on Stephen King's books, which was like I think I want to say around 2010, 11-ish. It was not long after I started reading, like, for real. um, anyway, it feels like a long time to me, at least. I have read 4 of his novels. I started out with reading Under the Dome, which is a brick, and I don't know why I started out with that one, but it was... I needed a U title, I remember that, and I was like, yeah, why not read Stephen King? It sounds like a really decent book. And then I got it out of the library and I was like, whoa, it's like 1,000 pages. It was 1,074 pages. That's the page count. I remember it specifically. And so I read that one in a month. I'm pretty happy about that, actually. I made sure that I read like this amount every day so that I finished it before I had to hand it in at the library. That was before I knew that I could renew it. Good times. But I read that, and then I started in later that same year reading the Dark Tower series because my brother told me that lots of his books has references to the Tower, so I wanted to read the Dark Tower series first so that I got those references. And then not so long ago I heard from, I think I was commenting on someone's video when they were talking about Stephen King and how they were going to reading all of his books. I forgot who it was exactly, and I said that I was going to start with the Dark Tower and then going back and start reading them in publication order. But then they were like, but if you don't read them this and this and this, then you'll be spoiled because of something that happens. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. If there's something I don't like, it's being spoiled about things. So that and I realized that when I read a little on about it, that some of the characters from earlier books, they show up in the Dark Tower series. I know for a fact that I heard that Pennywise shows up sometime in the Dark Tower, and he's from It, so that's that. So that made me decide, because if I read these in publication order, then I won't be spoiled because he writes them as it goes. So that's what I decided. I want to start out reading them all in publication order now. And when I get to the books that I have read, I'll skip them, obviously, because I have read them. I don't need to read them again. Oh, but then I've been sort of making a list for the last... I think I started making this list back in June. I want to say June. Or May. June or May. Because I like making lists of things and I for the longest time wanted to do this, and then I decided I need to do this because I was about to get into the 4th book in the Dark Tower series at the time, and then when I realized this, so I was like, oh, so I'm gonna go back. And then I decided to figure out how it all went, which books to get and how I could get it and all of that. And so last weekend when I was watching one of Michael's videos, or Michael Harris, I will leave a link to his channel in the card, and he was talking about It because he's buddy reading that with some other booktubers, Riley and Beck's Books, I think that's her name. He was talking about how he really enjoyed his writing, how he was writing the characters and all of that, and I was expecting that he's read a lot of his books already. Like I feel like he reads quite a lot of horror actually. So I was pretty sure that he'd read a lot of Stephen King. So I just casually mentioned that I had plans to start reading all of his books now because I'd wanted to do this for a while, and I wanted to read them in publication order. So he's like, wow, that's really exciting. I want to join in because I've not read any of the books either. He was starting out with It, which, like me, he decides to start out with one of the biggest tomes that that Stephen King has ever written. But yeah, so yeah, I said it would be a lot more fun doing this challenge and having someone else on board with me. So Michael and I are definitely going to be starting this, and we're going to be starting out with reading Carrie, which is Stephen King's debut novel, and we'll start that in September, even though he's still working on it. Carrie is only 250 pages, so it won't be something that's really heavy on his reading, I think. Yeah, then we're going to see how things goes. Pretty casual. What I'm planning on is I'll start a new Stephen King book every month, but if there's like a big tome, like for say It, which is 1100 pages, or The Stand, which is 1100 pages, then I don't expect myself to finish that in a month. It's not like I'm pressuring myself to finish it in a month if I can't do that. I'll just see how it goes, and then we'll see. And if it goes on to the next month, that's okay, and then I'll start a new book the month after that, like the first month after I finish it. That's the plan for this. And I felt like Michael was on board with this plan as well, because he wanted to read them all, and he was also like, need to be a little bit casual, so that we don't burn out pretty fast. And Stephen King is one of those authors that releases like at least one book a year, sometimes 2 or 3 times a year. So he has about close to 70 published novels. I've made a list. I said that, didn't I? I have made a list, and there are 68 books on there, and I read 4 of them, so that means I have 64 books that I need to read, and I have included all of the books that he's written under his pseudonym name, which I forgot at this moment. And then I've included all of the short story collections. That's stories completely by Stephen King. That means not anthologies, but short story collections. And I don't go in and if there's some short stories that he's written that I have not yet read by the time I get through the list, that's too bad. I'll see whatever he publishes otherwise. But I think I'll get the majority of them, because I think all of them have been added to collections. I have It, and I also have one of his short story collections, that is The Bazaar of Bad Dreams, on my shelf. So if I ever unwrap them, I'm not going to wait and read them until I get to that on my list. I'll be reading them pretty much after that. That's at least the plan for this. And then when I eventually get to that spot, I'll just skip that book and go on to the next in line. So yeah. But I'm really, really excited about this, and I am going to be listening to Carrie in audio. A lot of these books will be read in audio, and I think that's going to help me a lot with these challenges, because a lot of my other challenges are physical books that I need to read, and I think that when I have a lot of audios for this challenge, it will help me so that I can still do the other challenges and succeed, and also do this challenge. There's a couple of times I have to get the books from the library or buy them because they don't have the audio version of it. But for the majority of these books, they're actually on Storytel, which is a service that I use and pay for. So I'm going to use that for the majority of the books. And then we'll see. The only books that I don't have on my list here are his non-fiction books. I do think that his non-fiction books will actually be rather good, but they're mostly about writing and how to write a book. So that's why I haven't decided to pick it, because I don't have any plans to write books ever, because I don't think I'm a very good writer. But if I ever decide to change my mind about that, then I'm definitely going to check them out. I think he's a good place to look for advice from, because he's one of the best authors of our time. So yeah, this is an exciting project that I'm really looking forward to starting. And if you want to start reading any of Stephen King's books as well, or if you haven't read a specific book that we're going to be reading one month and you'd like to tag along in the buddy read, then definitely that would be fun. So definitely let me know about that. Yeah, this was all I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.